Consider for a moment the nature of yesterday. You feel as though you possess it, tucked away safely in your mind, like a cherished photograph placed carefully in a drawer. But this is an illusion. Your memories are not recordings. They are not stored intact. When you remember something, you are not pressing play on a passive film reel. You are physically rebuilding a fragile architecture of proteins and electrical signals in real time. The past you remember is merely an echo, reconstructed in this exact second. And every time you pull it into the light, you subtly rewrite it. You are the curator of an archive that is constantly, quietly changing itself without your permission. If you enjoy diving deep into the hidden architectures of the mind, please like and subscribe to help the channel. Now, let us begin. For centuries, we believed memory was a passive vessel. The ancient philosophers imagined the mind as a warm block of wax, where experiences pressed their heavy shapes into the surface, leaving a permanent seal. If the wax was soft, memories faded. If it was hard, they remained. Even into the early days of modern science, we clung to the comforting idea of a vast filing cabinet. We assumed that learning was simply the act of placing a document into a folder, and remembering was merely opening the drawer to retrieve it. It feels so intuitive. You experience a moment, and that moment is filed away. But the biological reality of what is happening inside your mind right now, as you listen to the cadence of my voice, is far more active, far more intricate, and infinitely more beautiful. Imagine you are standing at the center of a vast, gently lit library. The ceiling stretches up into a soft, echoing darkness, and endless rows of polished oak shelves spiral out in every direction, disappearing into the quiet mist. This is the neocortex, the outer layer of your brain. It is the permanent archive of your life. But nothing goes directly to these shelves. Every sight, every sound, every gentle sensation you experience today first arrives in a deep, hidden chamber at the center of this architecture. This central room is the hippocampus. As you drift towards sleep, your sensory world goes quiet. The heavy doors of the library are softly closed to the outside world. This is when the true work begins. The hippocampus, shaped biologically like a delicate, curled seahorse, awakens in the dark. It is the master curator. Throughout the day, it has gathered millions of fleeting fragments, the texture of a cup of coffee, the exact shade of the afternoon sky, the rhythm of a passing conversation. These fragments arrive here as glowing orbs of raw information, drifting lightly in the air of the central chamber. Now, in the profound quiet of your sleep, the hippocampus begins to sort them. This process is called memory consolidation. It takes these fragile, glowing orbs and begins to test their weight and their worth. It replays the events of your day, firing the exact same electrical patterns that occurred while you were awake, but it plays them backward and forward at incredibly high speeds. We call these bursts of electricity sharp wave ripples. Imagine the quiet curator softly striking a silver tuning fork, listening to the hum of the day's experiences, deciding what resonates and what does not. If an experience is deemed important, a biological miracle occurs. A process known as long-term potentiation begins. This is the strengthening of a synapse, the microscopic gap between your neurons. Imagine a glowing thread of golden light being spun between two floating orbs in our dark library. The more the hippocampus replays the memory, the thicker and brighter this thread becomes. Calcium ions flood into the cells, acting as messengers that trigger the creation of new proteins. The neurons physically grow toward each other, reaching out across the dark space to permanently intertwine. Once the connection is strong enough, the hippocampus gently lifts this bound cluster of glowing orbs and begins to move it out of the central chamber. It carries the memory up into the vast, endless shelves of the neocortex. There, it is laid to rest in the permanent archives, intricately cross-referenced with everything else you have ever known. The irrelevant details of the day, the background noise, the trivial anxieties, the fleeting frustrations are simply allowed to dim. They detach and dissolve into quiet, falling snow before they ever reach the shelves, leaving behind only what truly matters. We can trace the pathways of the calcium. We can map the electrical hum of the sharp wave ripples. Yet, as we travel deeper into this vast archive, we reach the absolute edge of human understanding. The greatest mystery of the mind lies in the nature of the engram. An engram is the physical trace of a memory, the exact pattern of living cells that holds a specific thought. But when scientists search for the engram of a single, complex memory, they do not find it in one place. It is scattered across the cosmos of the mind. The visual memory of a childhood home lives in the visual cortex at the very back of the brain, while the emotional warmth of it lives deep in the ancient amygdala, and the creak of the floorboards resides far away in the auditory cortex. How does the brain instantly bind these vastly separated fragments into a single, seamless experience? When you remember the house, who is the you doing the looking? There is no central viewing screen in the brain. There is no single master neuron that holds the entire picture. The memory exists everywhere and nowhere, all at once. It emerges from the dark, a phantom architecture assembled from a million different shelves, simultaneously, flawlessly, and without a conductor. We do not know how the ghost rises from the machine. We only know that it does. Perhaps we are not meant to understand the final, hidden secret of the engram. Perhaps it is enough to simply know that right now Beneath the quiet surface of your mind, billions of tiny, living cells are working tirelessly in the dark to preserve the essence of who you are. Every time you close your eyes and surrender to sleep, you are trusting this ancient, silent curator to walk the endless, echoing halls of your mind. It gathers the scattered light of your day. It weaves the fragile threads of your experiences into something permanent, something that will endure the slow passage of time. You are a universe of starlight, softly catalogued and protected in the deep quiet. As the hippocampus hums its soft, electric lullaby, the shelves of your neocortex glow with the accumulated warmth of a life well lived. Let the trivia of the day dissolve into mist. Let the heavy doors of the library gently close. The archive is secure. You can simply rest, suspended in the vast, peaceful architecture of your own becoming. Good night.